All right, good evening everybody. I guess you had some good presentations around technology. Let's look at deep diving into customer experience, right? Uh, I represent the customer experience business at Adobe. Most of you will be aware of our Photoshop, Illustrator, Acrobats of the world, but this is a completely new business. We've been in existence for about 10 years. Hopefully in about 20 to 30 minutes, I'll be able to take you through what we do. It's going to be exciting next few slides. As Srikanth said, customer experience is going to be the future. No, it's already the future. How many of us have visualized the food industry today? I'll not discuss about hospitals. We have an expert in the room today. Food industry today. What's the disruption which is happening in the food industry today? You can see the cloud kitchens coming up, and you can see the kind of delivery business going up. In China, it's estimated that food delivery business is about $6 billion. That means to say that most of the professionals want a Starbucks coffee on their desk at the right time. The professionals want a right quantity of food, whatever they order, as per their dietary restrictions on their table. That is what we want to pay for. What does this imply? In future, if you just multiply a few things and see about 2025, 2030, in a normal household, when kitchen is the maximum amount of spend money, right? You would spend about 30% of a house into the kitchen, it's going to get disrupted. Right? You may not have kitchens in future. Right? Second trend could be that in restaurant business, if you're going to go to a restaurant and if you're going to get served, that will become a very premium business. Right? That's some of the notable trends. Right? That will become very, very premium business. That means to say that you can get food delivered to your house, but if you really want to go out and eat, that will be a very high level premium business, because delivery is going to get commoditized. Your kitchens are going to vanish. You'll probably use the same kitchen space to do something else, right? That's the trend, at least it's pointing into. So we were part of an interesting survey of how does digital across India and global is going to grow. Just at 2020, if you see, there's about $23.6 billion of business. And I was just noting that rightfully this session is named as Technology Senate. Senate comes from a Roman word, which means to say that a group of high council of people who are going to vote for something. So at the end of the session, I'm now going to ask you guys to vote for something. I'll tell you about it at the end of the session. How many of you want to be part of 2025 and the revenue grows to 23.6 to $104 billion? Right? It's about a 30% growth. 2025, we will see completely different players. Absolutely different players in the market, right? We'll talk about more about that in detail today. Mobile penetration is at all-time high, but if you see it, it's plateauing, right? It's not the same kind of a growth that we are seeing in 2015 versus 2019 today, right? This is an enormous growth, but it's going to plateau. But mobile is going to be a huge channel for everything. Today, your applications are going to get much more redefined. Like for example, there is a security company which can speak about how the verification, Aadhaar verification or a 5-point verification can happen of your face when you're sitting in a car and you can get verification done and move forward, right? We can also speak about how mobile will have many more channels. Today for you mobile, one channel is SMS, the other channel is WhatsApp, the other channel could be, for example, push notifications that come through app. There's an interesting API experiment which RBI is doing. SMSs, kind of SMSs that you get for OTP generation is very high today. Any transaction goes through, right? If this is successful, we will eliminate SMS for OTPs, which means to say that today, most of the organizations, banks know whether you use an Android phone or an Apple phone or you use a Windows phone or any other phone. Those IMEI numbers are tied to your phone, right? Now, if there is an authentication which the bank's app sitting on your phone can do it with an IMEI, and this IMEI number is linked to your Aadhaar, you can eliminate an SMS, right? So that's one trend I just want to mention to you about how mobile is going to become much more rich in terms of experience that you will get. You need not have to put in the OTP right now, right? Android phones, by automatically it populates it and all you have to do is just press the button and watch it go through, right? Sorry, I don't know what happened to the slides. So while the slide comes up, let me talk about the other trends in the industry. Let's pick up two examples. One example we picked up is the hotel industry, and second one I want to talk about the B2C industry, right? So what are our expectation as Indians? As Arvind rightly said, right, we are a data-rich country, but insight, we are very poor on it. We truly believe, as per our survey, customer experience is the future. We are in an era which is absolutely customer's era. You're right, you will have to put customer right in the middle and define what the customer wants today. That's the exciting part that I'm going to walk you through about customer journeys, what does it mean for your business, and how you can go ahead and achieve it, right? This means to say that most of the silos that exist in organization today, for instance, there is a marketing organization, there is a sales organization, there is a inside technology organization or any other organization, these ones all operate under silos. That's not going to count if you want to be part of that $104 billion revenue. There has to be a level playing field. In our belief, that level playing field is customer journey, because your customer is right in the middle, right? So we want technology, but as Indians, right, we have a huge amount of population advantage, if I may say so, right? Next 5 to 10 years, we are going to add about 350 to 500 million workable population, right? This means to say that this is the people who are going to define what is going to happen. If you guys read the latest Fortune magazine, Mukesh Ambani has hired a content lady, right? She's going to define what India is going to watch for the next 20 years, right? That's what the magazine article talks about. She's going to define that's the trends that we are catching up on today in the industry, right? Tomorrow's content is beginning to get defined today, and some of the leaders are taking a leapfrog into it. So technology, we need technology, but we are poor on insights. But let's talk about some of the organizations which have significantly changed. One good example is Jet Airways. The airline went down, Jet Privilege is still on, because they have very, very rich customer profile. They know how much you traveled, how many times you traveled. They're launching some more things. The airline went down, but probably Jet Privilege is much more a valued company than the airline today, right? Going forward, overall, but we are not very happy with the fact that we are not getting good experience. Today, I can feel it, right? Anytime you are in a mall, you are in an airport, or you are in any of the public location, what is the customer telling the brand? Know me, serve me, right? You are not gaining insights from last breadcrumbs I left. I was on your website yesterday. I looked at this particular brand. You're not coming and telling me what exactly do you want. Where were you on that journey? How can I help you, right? So that's what the Indian customers are telling us today, which means to say that there is a huge gap of what kind of a personalized experience that we could offer to customers in India today versus what's the global trend here, right? So going forward, examples of negative customer experience, I'm sure all of us have gone through some of this, right? This is an interesting survey. Our attention span on any of the glass, whether it's desktops or a mobile, has reduced from 12 seconds to 8 seconds in the last few years. That means to say that if you're not able to find your product on Amazon in about 8 seconds or in a Flipkart, you're going to flip. You're going to change to another website. So you have that 8 seconds of attention span. You're not going to get a proper taxi on Uber, you will switch to something else, right? That attention span is going to go and reduce. So customer is giving all the organizations and the brands a very small window. Know me, serve me, this is your window of opportunity, right? That is where the customer is focused today. That's a very interesting example, right? When we look at, most of us who are parents, we look at, for example, some of us get excited when you get into an Uber taxi that what route he's taking, right? We keep telling the driver, take this route, this is better, that route is better. Have you ever observed a millennial or a Gen Z when they're sitting in the car? They are not worried about what route you take. They will only look at the time. How long does it take for me to reach the destination? That's the level of people that we are going to serve in the future tomorrow, right? They know that they will reach the destination. They are not worried about what's the kind of a taxi or what route does he take, right? But they know that they'll reach the destination. Meanwhile, they are on their job of doing something else on the phone, right? That's the generation we are addressing. So coming back, what are the actions that we took when we had bad experience? One is we told friends about it, we complained, we posted on social media. All this is bad for the brand. All this is bad for the brand. If any of these has happened, you're losing a customer. That is what it means. Now, the question is, are you truly delivering inspirational experience? At least the survey says that we are still not. We are still not delivering. I can see some of the heads nodding. I'm sure you can correlate personally as well as professionally how you got treated. For example, my own personal example of trying to renew a car insurance, for instance, right? You would expect more from your existing service provider. If your existing service provider is somebody else, you would expect 60 days before a call and say that you didn't have a claim, we are enhancing your no claim bonus, and therefore this is your best premium, and this premium will be better than policybazaar.com. The same thing if you go to policybazaar.com, since you didn't have a personalized experience from your current experience provider, you will have barrage of calls coming in. Policybazaar.com will open up. So, it's a big threat as well, right? For most of these insurance providers as well as the banking providers. You will have third-party aggregators who are available at your doorstep. This is a big threat for the banking organizations as well. Wherein today, HDFC Bank or an ICICI Bank or any other bank is not present anywhere. But you will have aggregators like Google Pay. You will have aggregators like PhonePe or anybody else being available. Bank is losing out on those services because they are not able to be everywhere and provide that personalized experience today. So what does it take? 96 customers find this consumer promotion to be irrelevant. That's one of the survey results. How many times have we cleared our spam emails? How many times have we had junk SMSs coming to us? We estimated at one of the Indian insurance company, in the next 5 years, they projected spend on sending SMSs alone is about 300 crores. Every SMS that you get delivered to your handset is worth about 10 paisa to them, right? Delivered to your handset. It could be 9.7, 9.8 here or there, based on the service provider. That's the kind of spend. Look at your spam emails that are happening. That's the next revolution that I would see happening, wherein we have more options to personalize experiences. Like, for example, an insurance company, once you signed up for a policy, can take up a wellness initiative with you, can send you relevant communication based on the package that you've chosen across the life insurance. If you are a diabetic, if you have some kind of an ailment, they can walk you through it. Then 90 days before, if he comes up to you for a renewal, you will definitely renew, right? So there's much more personalization to be done. That's where an insurance customer is telling us, begging us, stating that, know me, serve me, I want relevant and personalized communication. So we have a gap there, right? So 94% of them would discontinue a relationship for want of a bad experience with the brand. Let's move forward. So it's no-brainer that with all these examples that looking at it, right, we need to serve customers better for a better revenue. But why are the organizations facing a challenge in delivering this? We seem to be working in our own silos. We don't seem to be putting customer right in the middle and do something about it. That's one part of it. Second part of it is, we truly understand customer experience management or a digital journey is a journey in itself. A lot of organizations will nod here stating that, it is not buying technology. It is not just hiring a CDO. It is not just buying data from third party. I want to give you a very simple example of how Indigo Airlines, most of us fly Indigo because they have about 60% of market share. 8 years ago when Indigo started off, we were working with the CDO Stephen Tail. They didn't have any customer information. They had zero customer information because 8 years ago, the bookings were dominated by all the OTAs. It could be a Make My Trip, Yatra or anybody else. How did Indigo go ahead and build this customer journey over a period of time? Today, you look at it, they are able to get your boarding pass in 3 steps. Moment you get off the flight, you get a survey feedback, right? They're so pertinent that 4 hours before your journey, you get an SMS. You get an SMS stating that please make it to the airport on time. There's a gate change announcement, all of that. This is one particular journey which took them 8 years to get there. Today, they know my personal privileges. Everybody's personal privileges they know. They'll exactly align a seat to you. They know what kind of a meal you will have and things like that, right? So what I mean to say is, it's a journey. It's a journey where every part of the organization will have to come together, put customer right in the center and look at how you will offer a preferential experience, which is including your DNA, because every brand today can offer your own personalized experience and you have your own DNA which you could showcase, right? So moving forward, what I covered this slide, what does it mean for us as Adobe in the area of customer experience? We truly believe the next trend is about journeys, customer journeys. I want to take a few examples. For instance, TGD sir is there, I just want to take an example of what we're doing with Tata Motors, TVS Motors for instance, right? We are looking at analyzing the journey of a customer who would buy an Apache bike today, what the kind of a journey that he goes through. Starting from the point he looks at the bike on the website, right? He tries configuring it, to his branch visit, when he visits a branch, how personalized you could give him, taking through the experience of the way he would buy. But the scenario starts post he buys because the prospect becomes a customer. How do you engage and differentiate between a prospect versus customer? The situation has been earlier that once the customer becomes a customer, he's at the mercy of a dealer. But today TVS Motors wants to engage to know more about customers' preferences, his household income, family levels, his lifestyle changes. For example, somebody who's earlier the career was working but later becomes a sports enthusiast, but later becomes personally wants to travel on the bike quite a lot. Is that a point where you sell him an upgrade offer, right? Sell Apache bike and upgrade him to a BMW bike or anything else, right? How is this customer service journey going to be? Is he going to get an SMS the moment he leaves the bike there, right? So analyzing this customer journey, we truly believe customer journey is the future of the business, where we should look at all of us analyzing every touch point of your customer and live the journey as though you were the customer. Unless all of us take shape of the customer, right? The customer whom we serve and love to be treated the way we would want to be treated, we are not going to make a difference, right? So look at the amount of moving parts to this customer journey. If you want to know about a customer today, you will have to pick up data points across each of these areas because your customer is touching each of these areas. The silos exist because of the fact that the channels of engagement are very, very different today. There is 5-10 years ago, we created an online team. Then there is a very strong dealer team. Then there is a very strong customer CRM team. Then there is a very strong call center team. All these 4 teams are talking to the same customer, right? For example, if a customer who is buying an insurance product online, he happens to by mistake visit your branch for insurance buying. They don't know anything about it. They'll treat him as a new customer and the whole thing starts off once again. So how do you cut these silos and make sense by putting customer in the middle and say, we know everything about you. If the same online customer walks into your branch, you say, sir, you visited our website yesterday. This is the product you are looking for. Please go ahead and complete the journey online. You don't have to visit the branch. Branch is much more expensive for us. Tell me what help could we offer you, right? That's the state at which we want to get to. So content velocity, adding to what Arvind said, there are 2 parts that we have seen a big revolution which has happened and which every brand can encash. One is content, second one is data. Content and data go very, very closely together. Today, across the digital properties, you should know about which content is actually giving me money. If it's TVS Apache bike is the one which is getting maximum hits, if another bike is not getting me maximum hits, let me remove that. That's a product for me to dissect and see whether that business I should continue or not. So put your money, put your focus where the customers are, where the eyeballs are. Like the other day we were discussing about another interesting channel, right? One interesting channel which is emerging is TikTok. Some of the advertisers are going to start targeting TikTok. Of late, you guys must have seen, whoever plays Candy Crush would have seen the kind of ads which are coming up in Candy Crush. Candy Crush itself is a channel for people to showcase their ads today. The people putting money on Candy Crush today. Look at the kind of varied channels that are emerging today, where the customers are going around. So coming back, some of these things can't deliver CXM on their own, customer experience management on their own. We had an ERP era, we had a supply chain era, then we had a CRM era. Customer experience era is the one. Customer experience management is not a product. It is an amalgamation of all of these data together and how do you make a single sense of the customer. And this is a 24/7 job. This is not something that you will do one day and next month you forget about the customer, right? The way we do it is, we look at providing you a customer data platform where you will have every instance to personalize everything about your customer. The customer visits your app, customer visits your website, or a customer goes ahead and visits your branch, there is a single persona. Mr. X is interested in insurance, he works in an IT company, he's a chef, a part-time, and he is a sports enthusiast. And more importantly, he also looks at shopping during Saturday, Sunday. These are the touch points which will define. We did a small survey with China, right? We were talking about the other event, where one of the customers spoke about the fact that there are about 2,000 plus variables that Chinese know about their customers today, right? One of the variables is their profession or their likes, things like that. Look at the level of personalization algorithms that you could run when you know more about your customer, right? 2,000 plus variables. What time the person travels. They've also gone ahead and tracked every year this gentleman travels to this particular place or he travels to this particular location. You should personalize at that point in time. So the future, in our view, is all about going ahead and knowing how much do you know about your customer. A very simple view of the architecture, looking at how in a nutshell, you should look at having a customer data platform of all of these coming together, irrespective of what you choose. And then you make sense of your customer and build your customer's persona day by day and start personalizing, right? The life insurance example, for instance, you know everything about your customer, then start your customer's personalized journey. Pick up a set of professionals who are 25 to 30 years age. Let's say that's a persona you pick up. And look at what the kind of an insurance policy they have. Put a stop to all those SMSs and emails which are going. That's the first thing you got to do. Then start sending some relevant communication. Because you've got to stop doing something, right? If you want to change something. Right? So going back, why aren't these businesses performing together? We've covered this much in detail. And let's talk about how exactly would you go about doing this. I'll take 2 more minutes. Then we'll be open to some of the questions. Okay? So look at business KPIs. It starts from business KPIs. What are your business KPIs? Merge it with your tech capabilities. Design and build a customer CRM, customer experience architecture and run or manage it, right? That's a simple thing that we would put forth. It sounds very easy. There's one thing which we talk about DDOM architecture here, data-driven operations management architecture. It's a very simple architecture. So I want to leave you guys with one thought. This is a tremendous opportunity that you have today, either in a B2B or in a B2C space. The more you know about your customer, the more business is what it will drive you today. We at Adobe are very, very passionate about this. That's the business that I represent. And look at the results that it's driving today. It caused about 1.6x of brand awareness, 1.9 average order value, 1.9 times the average order value. One of our large clients, HDFC Bank, for instance, they were able to personalize the non-login page. Most of you will be HDFC Bank users. By running few campaigns to sign up for fixed deposits. Just in a month alone, they were able to drive about 20 crores of fixed deposits. Very simple way of personalizing, saying this is an ad and let me visualize the journey. If somebody clicks on FD page, how does the journey happen? How does he sign up for an FD? 20 crores of revenue in a month on a fixed deposit itself, right? So 1.9x return on ad spend. I spoke about where people are putting in money today. If you analyze the customer journeys, you will know where exactly you should be putting in money today. A lot of customers put in money today on YouTube, on Facebook, by default, but for all you know, they might be watching a Z5 or a TikTok or a Hoot or a Hotstar or anything else, right? So you've got to put your money where the customers are today so that you connect your ad spend with your leads, customers, and the cycle goes on based on the post journey, right? So it leads to employee satisfaction. This is one important aspect, right? I touched upon how you yourself should be an experience ambassador in treating your customers the way you would love to get treated. So experience starts from within. Experience very much starts from within. If you inculcate this experience management within your organization, it will automatically reflect across your customers as well. So customer satisfaction rates will go up. The last one is 36% faster revenues. This is a Forrester report. It also gives a view of how you can move from $23 billion to $104 billion of digital revenue. That's about it from my end. And my email ID is sridharan@adobe.com. That's my mobile number. In case if you folks have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure spending time with you folks today, and have a wonderful time ahead in Fisherman's Cove. Thank you.